morning. This is Oleg. You're listening to Collectathon by Stevia. This is going to be a quick podcast about the Bern AI Hackathon. Get started in a second. So, welcome. Thanks for joining this quick little episode here. I'd like to talk to you about the fair and hackathon in Bern a couple of weeks ago. Hope you're all jazzed up with Stevia's music, and we're going to get started with a presentation of the results so far of the Swiss AI Weeks. This is the first time that we've been running this at all. And nationally, there are hundreds of events happening as part of the Swiss AI Weeks. I'm one of the people responsible for the ones in Bern. And in particular, we organized this fair and hackathon last week. If you missed it, it was a really great fun. We had an amazing location. Lots of people came out, and I just want to spend a few minutes to go in a little bit into the results of those two events. So the fair was a kind of a trade fair. We had a set up with stands and presentations from various local companies. And there was several really cool workshops about working with chatbots, coding MCP protocols with live agents that were playing on a real-time board, learning how to prompt, doing a bit of a competitive prompt battle setting to the tunes of CyberGwen's awesome music. And we had workshops about using ChatGPT and other tools, which people have been promoting and supporting in this really cool new co-working space, Workspace and More. Sandro and Selma are just amazing hosts for us this last week. And if you ever have a chance to come and spend some time with us in Liebefeld, I very much encourage you to do so. So the fair was the Monday, and then we had the Thursday and Friday. So the hackathon was positioned to be a little bit connected to it. So the fair continued all week. A lot of the people came back to also take part in the hackathon, energized with their learnings. And we presented 10 challenges in total that were across a range of ideas and sectors. In the end, 8 of the challenges were actually worked on. And that's what I want to talk about today. So let's dive right in. So the first thing to know about this hackathon, it was very much prompted, no pun intended. It was inspired by the launch of the apparatus models. So we had this first challenge that was completely AI generated. So the platform that you're seeing dripped at here, it's actually running connected to this apparatus 70B instruct model, which was kindly provided by Public AI, and we had 4 other companies that were providing AI services on top of which we were running the hackathon. And it was kind of cool. We had we actually let an AI voice from 11 labs read out the challenge, so we had this really kind of AI challenge. But it was something that I would say it was kind of in the background of a lot of these projects. The fact that we have this new Swiss-made LLM model, you can read all about it in my blog post, including instructions of how to get it running on different services and your own hardware. But there was no requirement to actually use it. So as you'll see in the project, some of the teams would use it, and some of the ones most kindly just reference to it. So let's start from the top. So we had Guardrails as code with Unterprimis, a company that is a kind of a sales consulting company. Their pitch was basically that there's this really like a strong need for having guardrails in AI projects. What are guardrails exactly? They're essentially a series of like technologies that would make sure that you're kind of compliant, and your ChatGPT or any other language model doesn't go outside of the boundaries of what it's actually supposed to talk about. So in the case of Swiss and European laws, this may be data protection, like toxicity things. So here they list some of the various issues that they see in implementing guardrails, and they basically had I would say a conceptual challenge. They looked through a lot about like they generated a lot of flowcharts. And looked at the impact and the costs of implementing good guardrails in a business solution. So now they are promoting this Text Cortex tool. I didn't really see much of it in action. I would really like to see a little bit of a demo of this workflow platform that I've been hearing about. But yeah, they shared some resources and involved people in designing this in this really important topic of guardrailing, which is really a part of every AI system right now. So Going on to AI mates powered by Apertus. This was a dating platform idea, something you hear a lot about at hackathons. They say someone coming up with an app that would really serve their own benefits, and that's really great to hear. The challenge came through very authentic. If someone wants to help people, has experienced this themselves, and knows the landscape. So let's go through the quick slides. I was to say this was probably the most theatrical and most impressive presentation we had on Friday, where the one of the team members was kind of hidden behind a drape and revealed herself to exclaim that we need to revolutionize the dating scene, and this is a bit their idea, to have AI agents that talk to each other. So you really you create an avatar for yourself. It goes out and meets other people, and you learn about the experiences, and kind of before you go on a real date, you have these virtual dates. So really interesting idea. They came up with kind of click prototypes and thought a lot about what it would take to do it. The design specs. I tried to help the team a little bit with technical issues. I couldn't spend very much time as the organizer, but so they really worked pretty much on their own to come up with product requirements, documents, and so on. But they couldn't do very much coding. Nevertheless, after the hackathon, I did a quick bit of vibe coding. Actually, no, this was in the night during the hackathon. I just didn't really have time to present or to really even to talk to them about this very much. But the idea is that you would have these agents connected through an MCP server, the Model Context Protocol. That's kind of a new sort of API for agents for AI projects. And I mocked this up, and there's actually like a test bit of code, and it's something that could be installed and run. I used Google's Jules to vibe code this. And yeah, we'll see if the project continues. Maybe this is one of the approaches we can take. But on the whole, just really nice initiative, and it's clearly something that the team is passionate about and sees a great market potential for. So very nice project there. Let's continue to the archive image matching project from the University of Bern. This was a team of people who wanted to kind of help to categorize the images in a very large archive of ERR, hundreds of thousands of pages of these historical prints, and the problem was very technical. So there's all these issues and constraints that we need to work with to get these text read in. How do we do that? We need to work with computer vision, right? So the solution was to address these traditional techniques with some additional algorithms. They found this SFFT process, and then another one, term frequency inverse document frequency. Okay, so very very technical. I don't know what they're really talking about here, but clearly these are techniques to improve the accuracy of the results that they're getting out, and hopefully getting these correctly matched images and text. And yeah, so they created also a service. So this is a fast API based bit of code, a prototype that allows searching and uploading and really understanding the content. Lots of really cool features and things they've built in. So very cool that they have a working demo here at the top. So maybe we can I don't know what's a typical Swiss name. Let's say Marcos, and maybe we can just see if that oops, matchmaking request failed. Okay, so they had this demo. I guess it was working during the hackathon, but right now it's there's some errors in it. But very cool that they came up with this and were able to assist the university team in this really important project. Next, we had create your own planetary systems. This team worked on an AI algorithm developing, understanding the structure of exoplanetary systems. So the planets like our own in other solar systems, we're about as far out as it gets. So here you can see this nice little presentation starting with this ancestral person looking up at the stars, wondering is there life out there. And very cool space science. Gotta love it. Lots of data, different telescope arrays, and are we alone? Really deep and searching questions, and in particular, can robots help us? So there was a presentation a couple of days ago in the on-air webinar series, which you can see at swissaiweeks.ch. Just go to the on-air program. So they actually talked about their hackathon project, and towards the discovery of other Earths, the role of AI. and really reviewed it in depth. So I'm not going to go into too much detail now. Just suggest that you listen to the call. But yeah, very cool stuff. Multiple prototypes came out of this team, both like really kind of number crunching, data analysis kind of things, as well as really nice, cool, interactive things you can play with. And don't miss their log. So with every team, you can click on the log button, and you can see like the charts and the things that they've been producing. So it's things that they didn't necessarily make it into the presentation. So yeah, very cool. Let's go back to see the next one. We have the energy infrastructure for remote sensing challenge, which ended up having two teams working on the same problem: the alpha team and the beta team. So both of these were supported by the canton of Bern, trying to use open data to estimate the amount of energy being produced and also to help with energy planning. So a little bit on the kind of topic of collecting this data. They wanted to work with some really sophisticated granular data sets. Ended up simplifying things a little bit. Lots of opportunities here. There was actually a whole hackathon before ours on the topic of energy data, which is also part of the Swiss AI Weeks. That was the Energy Data Hack Days. Just if you search for that, you can also check out the results of that. I was there and coached one of the teams. So this is just a really huge topic. How do we address the climate change crisis with more resilient infrastructure in terms of energy generation and consumption? So this you can see a little bit in the log that this team really kind of struggled to have the capacity, but they worked really well on the challenge, and figured out how to detect solar panels basically on a map and see if see how effectively the canton policies are being implemented. In the beta team, here you can see the presentation of the challenge itself, and let's see, what do we got? So here they have a README in Italian, right? So you have to forgive me for my Italian skills are quite basic. But yeah, they looked at the data from Swiss Topo and Open Data Swiss, extracted it, and looked at ortho photos, right? So the first team, I think, looked more at the location data of particular solar panels and so that were advertised, logged in a cantonal data set, and these really tried to use computer vision techniques, a little bit like the team with the archival photos, to detect the energy infrastructure from satellite pictures. And so yeah, they made these cool research, and they did visualizations. They presented this. I don't know if we can actually see something like this here. Let me check their log. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So I think we're gonna have to wait for this team to upload the results. What I should also mention is that there are videos of all the team presentations. If you just scroll down here, you can look at you can click this link and you can see the video, and then you can just hear it from the horse's mouth. You don't have to watch me speak through these challenges. It's just from my kind of getting me back up to speed. So let's continue just for a few more minutes. So I'm going to skip this. This was a challenge that was presented, completely generated by AI, even presented using the AI voice of 11 Labs text to speech, but it was not directly worked on, although I think several teams really worked with Apertus. So let's see what we've got next. So we got local produce transportation. This is an idea to create tools for local farmers to easily transport their goods to customers, right? In their presentation, they really talk about this idea of Farmly. They came up with a logo and name and everything, and mocked up an app which connects to a online service, an AI service, accepts tasks, queues them, and these are basically like an ordering platform, so you can order various fruits and vegetables or farm products. They really demoed it and thought it out in a lot of detail how it would work. Should be something that connects farmers and really creates solutions in the local food topics. So very cool work from a young team of people who worked without their challenge owner, I have to say, because that person was unfortunately sick just before the hackathon. So very courageous and very, very cool results. To come up with code, a server, and the client. for an app that we can hopefully try out. I don't know if they have a demo site up already or anything like that, but yeah, that's something we can try to get up and running, or you can see in their presentation. Next up, we have measuring the footprint of open LLMs. So like I said, Apparatus was used by several of the teams. This one really tried to benchmark it, compare it with other models, find strategies for efficient prompting. The energy behavior of AIs is being one of the top concerns people have and should have, when using these very energy hungry services. So try to really understand what the energy consumption is and influence of the prompt and response. We had various infrastructure available. So there's this Mac Studio in a data center sponsored by Bigasoft. And there was also a couple of machines on site which we had trouble getting to work with Apparatus because the model is still quite new and doesn't really work so well with all the architectures. So again, something you can see in my blog in more detail. And the experience that we ran was basically to test different prompt and response lengths, different subjects, and do some comparison with Llama, which is another open source model, to try to really understand how much energy is being used in different use context. They were not able to get a very stable setup, so to get a good benchmarking, you have to really be able to reproduce the results over and over again. But they did figure out how to basically measure the different consumption values, and they were learning lots, having fun, which is always great at a hackathon. So here's some really good learnings from a team that took a difficult subject, tackled it, I think, really well, and ended up with something that we can really learn from and use going forward. Lots and lots of materials on their website, more photos. So great job, team, and hope to see many more of this soon. And Prompt Buskers was kind of a meta challenge, which we kind of suggested of doing something creative with prompts, something with buskers. We actually invited a local musician, that's CyberGwen pictured here, performing the set during the hackathon. So even though it wasn't like traditionally the hackathon challenge, I think we did something to support local artists and do some creative activities during the hackathon. So very good. The Tibetan chatbot challenge was to learn languages using chat interfaces. Again, focusing on trying to use Apparatus, which is which has as one of its main features a strong linguistic ability, and to build a RAG with a number of linguistic references. So this team really applied itself to feed in lots of data from the Tibetan language, which has beautiful scripts, but they really worked with Unicode encoded text that they got out of PDFs or other resources, and this they fed into a retrieval augmented generation database to create a chatbot that would be designed for language learners. So yeah, the idea of having an AI tutor, I think we all kind of understand, and it was really cool that they made a live demo, something we could play with during the hackathon. So I think this is a very cool project that we're going to be hearing more about. The Tibetan community, I hope we can benefit from some additional tools, and the fact that Apparatus is kind of in the center of the attention here, I think is also very cool to really test whether the model delivers what it's promised. So again, apologies for my very rapid fire introduction. I do want to say a couple of things. So I think really every team engaged itself extremely well. I didn't see a single group of people slacking off the whole time. People were really dedicated. Lots of really just camaraderie, people working in teams together. I'm actually we had the TV crew from the SRF, which is national television. So you can watch the report and really see interviews with myself and other people at the event on this link here. This is only in German. I'm also going to link a photo gallery which I just put up of just photos from the event, so you can get a little bit of a picture. But especially would just encourage you to look at the team presentations and all the workshops. We had an amazing introductory session at the hackathon itself, also from Professor Gigli, who leads the data science lab at the local University of Applied Sciences. And that was also extremely helpful for us to get a bit of orientation about how these AI systems actually work and what opportunities there exist. So this was a really cool event. I'm really looking forward to the continuation of the Swiss AI Weeks, the next hackathon being tomorrow in Lausanne. Oh yeah, one more thing. People have been asking me about this. So on social media, I've posted The fact that three of the teams got these awards. We tried to make really like a cooperative hackathon. So the whole awarding was really in the background. There was just small gifts that we gave to people from the teams that were picked by a public vote. So we had the archive image matching, we received the most votes, and we had the Tibetan chatbot and local produce transportation, which were tied for first place based on an AI award. And the details of this are on my Mastodon page, where you can see a lovely picture of the image matching team, and you can see a little bit how the things were tallied. So the public votes, here we have the results. And if you just scroll up here, we also have the AI votes. So the AI votes were basically the complete documentation text of the project fed into the 7TB model, and the same kind of jury evaluation applied that will be used at other hackathons at the Swiss AI Weeks, based on 5 criteria. This is communicated to the participants, and it is actually something you can see if you click on the individual projects. Any one of the projects has this blue drip at the top of the log, where the technical functionality, user experience, skillful use of AI, fun factor, market impact, and so on are evaluated with these scores. Again, completely AI generated based on the documentation. Kind of complement the public evaluation, where the public probably responds more to your presentation and ideas than the documentation, which they don't really have time to review. So the idea basically that kind of this augmenting the jury with an AI approach, something that could be quite useful and hopefully results in fairer, more balanced hackathons in the future. So that was the hackathon in Bern. Please check out all 21 of the ideas and 9 projects that were presented. There are also, if you scroll down, lots of resources. We had 27 kind of boxes here, including lots of details about Apertus and Supertext and Swiss AI platform, and all the things we were using are listed here on the resource area of our site. Yeah, that's it. I have to go. Have a great day, and hope you can tune in again soon later. Thanks.